Hi, I'm Christine. I'm here today with Laura, and we're going to discuss the kinds of things that people go through when they start energetically transitioning into this more awakened, more alert state of energy. And we're going to start with hydration. Laura?
So during this study, I've been going through a lot of transitions, and some of them have been a little bit difficult to hold. But one of the things that I have noticed is hydration and eating in particular have been different than normal. So I've noticed that I have to actually hydrate a lot more than I normally would have. And usually I don't get very thirsty, but since we've been doing this study, my body tells me sometimes, like right away, I need to drink immediately.
Right. That is actually very important that you pay attention to doing it when the body asks for it, because it's part of the process. The energy is moving. So you think about electricity, and the energy is moving, and if the hydration isn't at the level that the electrical system is asking for, then it doesn't move the same way. It makes like a sluggish effect on the body, and it can make it take longer, or you may miss like a window of opportunity that's open. So drinking when you're thirsty is really important during this process. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. And I've also noticed sometimes, like, whenever I drink water, I don't like the taste of normal water. Like, I like coconut water, and I like water with maybe a blueberry powder mixed in or something like that. But
Mhm.
I have noticed recently that I've just been wanting plain water too. So I thought that was really interesting that my go-to since the study has started and since I started all of these transitions was that I just wanted plain water with nothing in it.
Interesting. I would agree with remembering from my past that I had the same experience. I also remember that there were some days that I needed to drink so much water that there was no room for food. I had no appetite, and I kept thinking, well, gosh, I haven't eaten all day. Is this actually okay? Because I was raised thinking, you need to eat 3 meals a day and even a snack if you're hungry. So to go all day and realize I hadn't eaten and that I had no hunger and that there wasn't even room to put any food in my body was a strange feeling too.
Yeah, that's totally happened to me. And so what the first couple of days this was happening, I would drink a lot of water. And I normally don't drink when I eat, but I was thirsty at the time and I would eat and drink at the same time. But I wouldn't eat very much, but then I would feel like I'd just eaten at a great big buffet. I was like, oh my gosh, all I can do is just sit here and wait.
Right. And I believe that's the body telling you stop, and it's giving you this feeling of overfull. So you realize, hey, we need this space now. Don't put any more food in here. We're doing something else besides digesting. And you also know that when you digest food, it does drain the energy system. Correct, Laura?
Yeah, in Chinese medicine, anytime we digest food, there's what's called stomach fire that has to be high enough to digest it. But it takes the energy from the system, and your blood flow gets rerouted from other places into your digestive tract to help digest the food. So that's why people say don't exercise after you eat. If you exercise right after you eat, the blood's going to be going to your limbs instead of to your digestion. And same thing with thinking. They say whenever you eat, you should not be thinking and working at the same time because thinking itself requires a lot of energy in the brain, and the blood flow gets rerouted to the brain instead of digestion. So eating itself, if you look at the way people did it in history, was a place for calmness and rest, enjoyment. And lately, a lot of people too, we eat on the run, we eat standing up, we eat while we're working just so we can get more done. But it's really, really important for digestion to happen as we're at rest with our minds and our bodies.
And that's another thing that I would agree with during this study, that we're doing a lot more thinking because we're asking you to pay attention, to be aware. So you're constantly processing this new awareness, and it does take energy. It can make you more tired. It can make you need naps, and it can make you feel like you're dragging a little bit more than normal. I strongly suggest when people come to those moments to take and lay down if you can and to rest. Even if you don't take an actual nap, if you just, like you said, rest your thoughts, rest your body, and let the energy continue to move and free flow. Part of the impact that a lot of us are feeling is the telepathic connections that happen as a group. And it's very common that, again, you'll be thinking something and believe it's your own thought, but it will have been inspired by someone else in the group also having a thought. And so we're circulating concepts in the group while we're in our subconscious through telepathic communication.
Now, whenever you want to take a nap, I agree with Christine. Take a nap when you feel like it. If you've eaten, you'll probably want to prop yourself up because you don't want to, contribute to getting a hiatal hernia or anything. That's the reason they say don't eat. Don't lay down right after you eat, which would cause acid reflux, or someone that has a hernia. That's really not the thing to do. So do rest and relax while you're eating. After you've eaten, sit up more at an angle, but then otherwise feel free to take a nap whenever you need to. Talking about food, this is one of the things I wanted to bring up that we kind of touched on a little bit. One of the things I've been experiencing lately is there's absolutely nothing that I can think of that sounds good to eat. I've had those moments before where I thought, oh man, there's nothing I can eat. But I could also always think of something that I couldn't eat, like donuts or hamburgers, French fries, stuff like that were limited from my diet at the time. But now, during this transition, it's completely different. I don't get hungry, and whenever I even think about food at all, it just doesn't feel right. So it's been like 2 or 3 days since I've been mainly drinking water. So I guess my body's forcing me to go on a fast in a way.
I do find that happens, especially with my work, not just with the study information and the transitioning, but even when I'm doing energetic processing for others. So anyone that's in the healing world or even just has close family members that they're supporting emotionally and mentally, it's the same thing. Everything is energetic before it becomes physical. So all of this energy is flowing through us, and sometimes the digestive system will require more energy than will be available and will tend to fast. I believe it's very natural. The body knows what it's doing and it prepares you for this. When I went through this myself, I wasn't feeling hungry. I was just feeling like, oh, I don't need to eat. And I've gone as much as 2.5 days not eating anything at all. And then suddenly something huge shows up. For instance, somebody calls up, hey, this person just had a stroke. We need some help. It's this kind of planning on the energetic level that happens where I'm now prepared to run a certain amount of energy that I couldn't have ran if my body was taking care of digestion, for instance. I can just run all this energy and support this person through what they're going through, and there's space for that.
Yeah, and talking about that, if anybody has any pets, you might be paying attention to them recently and finding that they are participating with us. I have 2 dogs, and they're absolutely participating in all of this process with us. I brought that up because Christine was saying that you can run energy for other people, and I've been running energy for my dog. That's the reason I brought up pets.
But I also know that just not even just running energy for them, but having their support. So they will be very selfless in your moment of need. And if you need that support, they will tend to mirror what you're going through and participate with you. Therefore, you're not alone.
Yes, I find that totally true, completely true. But just so you guys know, my dogs are doing great. I wanted to make sure that was clear. But yeah, it's really interesting how we're all synchronistically tied together or cooperating with each other in this group and with all of the people and the animals and the spaces around us. So that's something we can be aware of too. Because as I go through this transition, I can feel it. I can feel how I participate with my space. I can feel how I participate with my house, with the chair, with this conversation with Christine, with you all. Really cool.
Very nice. Well, thank you very much, Laura, for sharing this with us today.
Thank you, Christine. And thank you, everybody. Bye.